That concrete slab you're looking at weighs somewhere between 800 and 1,500 pounds, and that's more than a grand piano. And this YouTuber is trying to lift it with nothing more than a couple cans of spray foam. And he's not the first to try, because even a commenter said, the guys who make a living slabjacking are not going to approve of this. And you can see why people think that, especially when you watch what some DIYers have pulled off with just a can of foam. After all, you probably walked past those same cans at Home Depot and thought, hey, if it seals gaps in my house, maybe it could lift this slab too. Well, you're about to get a behind-the-scenes look at 3 real DIY spray foam lifts, each one a little more creative than the last, pointing out the risks that don't always make it into the videos, show you a few alternatives to consider, and I'll share the one leveling method that most people don't even know exists. But first, you need to know how your concrete sank in the first place. Concrete sinks because the soil underneath shifts, washes out, or gets tunneled by critters. And every fix that you're about to see is basically trying to fill those voids to push the slab back up into place by drilling holes, filling with material, and sealing it all up. Now, first up is what I'll call the drill and fill method. This is FriendnFamily, who drills a couple of holes near the edge of the slab, vacuums out the dust, and places the spray foam straws into place to make sure that they fit. Now, this is where precision really matters, because the hole spacing and angle are going to decide how evenly that foam spreads. In this video, he drills 4 holes along the joint, which is good, but imagine only using 1 hole. Now you've got hundreds of pounds of concrete on a single pillar of foam. I want to point out that as he sprays the cans, you'll notice that he pauses to let the foam expand beneath the surface. You can't see that, but what you can see is foam pushing out the side, and that's totally normal, but it doesn't guarantee that the void underneath is full. It could be packed solid, or it could be leaving pockets where water and pests can continue to sneak through and cause it to settle again. So I want to make sure to point out that this stuff is not safe to touch barehanded. Always read the directions and wear proper PPE. In the end of this video, the slab does lift, and he even admits that it's not perfect, but it is proof that foam alone can move concrete. Now, the next creator we're going to look at literally built his own rig to physically pry the slab back up before that foam even touched it. This is Jack of all trades, and he built a homemade wooden brace into the slab, sets a jack underneath, and physically pries the concrete back into place before injecting the foam. Now, on paper, it all makes sense. Get the slab close to level, then let the foam act as support. But in this video, the board cracks under pressure. And I think that this is a great time for another reminder about safety. When you're dealing with tools like these or prying up hundreds of pounds of concrete, PPE is essential. Because concrete is rigid, edges are going to catch, joints are going to pinch. So instead of lifting, some people actually just grind down the edge, or they patch low spots with material instead. Both of those are quick alternative fixes that smooth the hazard out, but again, they're not solving that long-term sinking issue. Once you see the concrete actually lift into place, he scrapes away the excess foam, drills out the holes, and then he seals them. That's a good practice, but here's the catch. When you do a pre-lift like this, you're also raising the risk of overlifting. Foam expands fast and very unpredictably, and if you can't see it, it can push the slab too high, and there's no going back from there. And this is true with any DIY method, but if something, for instance, cracks along the way, you may be leaving a pro with a harder, more expensive repair later that sometimes even leads to full replacement. Which brings us to what I'd call the most elaborate of these 3 methods over on the channel, Everyday Home Repairs. He clamps heavy-duty C-clamps onto the slab, chains them to 4x4s, and then he uses bottle jacks to carefully pre-lift that sidewalk before injecting foam. Now, even with all of that prep, once the foam goes in, the same risks as before start to creep back in. Expansion is still unpredictable, hidden voids may or may not get filled, and slabs can still overlift. So as he wraps things up, he smooths excess and seals the joints. That's the kind of finishing touches that pros use that actually help a repair last longer. After watching all 3 of these DIY methods, something stuck with me though. Despite the clever setups and the safer looking results, their success almost completely relied on one thing: spray foam. And yes, it lifted their slabs today, but long-term strength is where results vary. And that's why pros use different materials entirely, including one most people don't even know exists. That option doesn't come in a can. In fact, it's not even foam. Now, pros sometimes use a 2-part polyurethane foam that is stronger than what you'd buy off the shelf, but it comes with some similar drawbacks: unpredictable expansion, gaps that don't always get filled, and often a higher price tag than the method I'm about to tell you about, which is called stone slurry grout leveling. So what is that? It's a limestone and water slurry that's pumped in from the back of a truck. Now the big difference here compared to foam is control. Technicians can adjust the mixture on the fly, making it thicker or thinner, depending on what the slab needs to get into a safe position with maximum support. Because slurry doesn't just lift, it fills the entire void and restores the kind of support your slab had when it was first poured. And here's the kicker. While every project is different, stone slurry grout leveling is often 30 to 50% less expensive than professional foam jobs, and up to 70% cheaper than full replacement. So there you have it, a handful of DIY methods, which I don't recommend you doing, but if you did like what you saw and you want to dive deeper into those methods, I have linked all of the channels and the pages in the description below. Shout out to all of those creators. But before you do that, or grab a few cans of foam yourself, make sure to get a free estimate from A1 today. And if you're curious about how to fix uneven concrete without replacing it in different ways, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching.